And welcome to the Cincy Sports Scene, your local source for all things Cincinnati. I'm Dave, and here with Sam and Charlie, and this is episode number 125. We got a packed show today, from FC Cincinnati's solid win over New England to the Reds' rocky start that's raising some early season red flags for us, and the Bengals headlines that have the city buzzing. Plus, we've got trivia and a fun new game for this week's topic. Can you name the Cincy icon? Stick around and play along as we drop clues and test your Cincinnati sports knowledge. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual fan, this show is for you. So let's dive into the week that was. So, gentlemen, how was your week?
Oh, pretty good. Can't complain. Rainy, but I think that's everybody.
That is everybody.
Yeah, too much rain. But yeah, just moving on from my house. Finally, it's sold and closed and everything else. So it's
Congrats
in the past now.
All right,
new chapter.
New chapter in the Crawley life.
If anybody knows a nice house for sale, let me know.
There you go. Hit them up. Send us your listings on CincySportScn.
That's right.
At gmail.com, or you can find us on any social under CincySportScene and tag Charlie in it. All right, let's talk first FC Cincinnati's victory, 1-0 shutout victory over New England. Thoughts on the team? They're now 4-2-1, I believe. Anybody watch the game, or were you too busy watching
I was watching the Final Four.
Final Four.
I mean, I know they won 1-0, so I mean, a win's a win. We've been talking about this for a while now, that their offense hasn't been great, but I mean, it's been good enough to get them several wins, which is really, at this point of the year, you're just trying to pick up points until you can kind of find your groove. And they got a clean sheet, so that means defensively they're organized. They were well balanced and all that stuff. I mean, you say that New England's not a great team. I think they were one of the worst teams in MLS last year. Can't imagine they're that much better this year, but just take 3 points. You take what you can get and just be happy with it. So
yeah, you're never upset about winning a game, getting the 3 points. So I'm looking at the lineup. I did not watch it either. I was watching it between the Reds and the Final Four games. But I mean, their starting backfield was Nick Hagelin, Lucas Engel, and Gilberto Flores. So, you would not think those guys are there's no Miazga yet, which I think he is practicing now at least. So I think he's in the near future. So a lot of, they started some guy named Brad Smith. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, that's not a real person.
Yeah, started Brad Smith, and again, Tay or Ta Anunga. I don't know who that is either. So I guess I haven't watched enough FC Cincy yet to even know who some of these people are. So the fact that they're winning games with kind of a new, still half their lineup is new to the team, integrating those, I mean, you can't pass it up. I'm still of the belief it's going to take till June, at least mid-June, whatever, that they're really, hopefully they'll be on, hit on all cylinders by then.
Yeah, let's hope that they are. And I know, there's a lot of sports going on here this last week with the Reds, and then the FC Cincinnati, and you had the March Madness going on. Plus, you also had the Crown, which you see. We're not even going to talk about that, so we're just skipping that right now because it's the Crown. I mean, I thought that was a show on Netflix, but I guess it's
appointment viewing there, man. The Crown. What time? I think they do have the finals now. I think it's Nebraska and I don't know, whoever won. Somebody won yesterday.
Kudos to you for knowing Nebraska's in the finals. Yeah. I mean, because
UCF was in the Final Four. Whoever UCF played would play Nebraska.
Well, let's talk about something up next for FC Cincinnati. I mean, they have DC United. Any previews, or do you think it's just going to be the same old where we just try to piece it together, win 1-0,
win 1-0, 2-1, one of those.
All right. Speaking of 1-0 games, the Cincinnati Reds had a bunch of those this past week. They lost to the Rangers. They lost the series. They won one game and lost two. In the game that they won, they put up 14 runs. And I know you and I talked about it the next day at school, Charlie, that they probably wouldn't score for a week, and it sure seems like
we were too accurate. I wasn't expecting to be that accurate.
But man, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 3 straight games, and tied Major League history. If the Reds really were concerned about making history, they would have lost,
right?
1-0.
And they were till like the 5th or 6th inning. So
right,
it's like, here we go.
Yep. And right now they're down 1-2 to the Brewers. You weren't here last week, but I told Sam that this Brewers is the test for the Reds and for Francona to see what, where we might stand in this National League Central Division, just because of the awful record against the Brewers the past 2 years. I think we're like 9-19 or something like that against the Brewers.
I mean, the Brewers won like 10 straight series against the Reds or something like that.
Something like that. Yep. So today's the rubber match, and hopefully Spires is going out today. Hopefully he can pitch well. The last time he pitched against the Brewers, they feasted on him. I think he has like 10 innings pitched, and he's given up 14 runs in those 10 innings. So the Brewers really like his style. But let's talk about the Reds. Week, they started out hot, put up 14 runs, and Brady Singer looked really good as the number 4 starter. And then, we couldn't score. Our pitching staff has been, I think our pitching staff, starting 5, has been rock solid. Bats
I'd say better than that. They've been excellent.
Yep, they have been excellent. You're right. So thoughts on the Ranger series, thoughts on this Brewer series, and then I've got a couple of thoughts that we can talk about moving forward.
I mean, unfortunately, I'm just seeing the same old Reds. I mean, and the thing is this is not anybody that didn't have the rose-colored glasses on, that actually looks at reality. This is not surprising. Their lineup is bottom tier. They got 1 star, and even he's not killing it. I mean, if you compare, some of the other stars in the Major League Baseball. But they have 1 star. They have 1 really, really good player. Hopefully, he'll continue that. And then you have a bunch of guys that haven't proven anything, or guys has-beens. We're running Jake Fraley out there. He's not a Major League hitter anymore. He's not good. Spencer Steer is terrible right now. He may be the worst Major League hitter. And I mean, if it's a shoulder or what's going on, I'm just waiting for the IL for him. Like, I think it's just a countdown till he's on the IL. He's batting 1 for 21 at this point. How do you run him out there? If he's really that messed up, get him on the IL. And with the Reds, if he goes to the IL, he'll be gone for the season. So we know how that works. Day to day will be season ending pretty soon. So I just, I'm not more optimistic after nine days for sure, because it looks like the same trash that we've been watching for however long now. A bunch of hopes and dreams, and not very good players. I mean, you just watch it, and they're not good players. They're just not. I mean, EJ Friedel had 1 good game last night. Finally, he's been below average. They have to have the worst outfield in the major leagues, at least hitting wise. I mean, I haven't looked at all the major league teams, but awful. It has to be the worst.
It's awful.
So, I mean, you're running Blake Dunn and Hurtaby's out there, on a regular basis right now. If you just take, your hopes and dreams and actually look at it like, okay, realistically, what has this team got talent wise? And the thing is, pitching wise has been great. It's been above expectations. We thought it'd be pretty good, but it's been great. So, and they're still 3-6, which makes it even more, when you give up 1 run in 3 straight games, you should win at least 2 of those, if not all 3. So they win those 2 games, they're 5-4. They actually have a winning record. So I don't know. They're going to still have to prove a lot to me. I've not been a biggest fan of some of Francona's moves. So, I mean, whatever's been, I still don't understand the bunting when you got a guy on first base who his only major league skill is speed, in Hurtubise. I mean, his only skill is that he can run fast. So why do you give up an out like Friedel bunting? Just let the guy steal. If he can't steal, then he doesn't belong on a major league roster because that's his only major league level skill. So just different things like that. We'll see. The bullpen has been okay. So, from a pitching standpoint, I have quite a bit of optimism. Matter of fact, on my fantasy baseball team that I run, I have two Reds pitchers. I mean, I'm okay with the pitchers,
cow.
but I have no Reds hitters. I don't want any of them, because I couldn't get Ellie, so outside of him. So I don't know if you guys are more optimistic about it, but I'm not. I think this is just the same old Reds we've been seeing for a while, for maybe longer than a while.
Well,
So.
yeah. Let me interject here a couple of things. One, injuries derailing this team again, right? I mean, I don't know what we're cursed here.
But everybody's got injuries.
Everybody has injuries, but it just seems like, and for me, this is not an excuse, right? But there's a lot of people that are using it as an excuse for this team. Well, and this is what's going to happen come the trade deadline. Again, it's like, oh, we're getting Austin Hayes back. We're getting,
maybe
Tyler
Steer,
Stevenson.
maybe Steer will be coming back by then. So
Steer will be coming back. We haven't played up. We haven't had our full team yet. So once again,
that's the con. That's the con that the front office uses on the fans.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like with Spencer Steer, why not? The only reason he made the opening day roster instead of being on the IL is because Hayes went to the IL. He hardly had any spring training. His hard hit rate is the lowest it's been in a long time. And like you said, he should be in a bingo hall playing bingo because his batting average is 0.45. And once again, we're playing man down, actually 2 men down because Matty McLean cannot stay healthy. He's got a hamstring tweak right now that he has been sidelined for 3 games. Get him on the IL, let him rest, bring up Marte or somebody to fill that spot and go from there. Once again, it's the fool's gold, right? It's the 12 runs or 14 runs, and then all of a sudden you think, hey, we're going to explode out of the gate. And then reality hits, and the Reds can't. Their team is bad, like you said. So thoughts on playing men down? Thoughts on the fool's gold, like you said, Charlie, before?
The men down thing. I mean, it drives me crazy. They've done it for so long, and it makes no sense. Why are you hamstringing your managers? I mean, we talked about this when David Bell was here. He's someone who loved to pinch hit, pinch run, fielding things. So why would you not give him the full complement of players? I mean, Francona's probably not as much, tinkering as David Bell, but still, why do you not have the full complement of players for him to work with? I mean, McLean gets scratched. Okay, so 1 game he's out, but then you determine the next 2 he's not playing either. So yeah, like you said, put him on the IL, call somebody up, get somebody else up here who's an option, because what we have right now just doesn't cut it. And then the second thing for me is I thought all of these mistakes, these simple mistakes, Francona was going to clean up. That has not happened yet. And the accountability on my end, that was, Francona's whole thing. The accountability. After what Jake Fraley pulled yesterday, the fact that he's in the starting lineup right now tells me this team's not serious about anything. He's scheduled to start today. He should have been, I wouldn't even say sent down to Louisville. I just sent him back home to Louisiana, wherever he's from, because that was pathetic. He's been terrible, and I don't know how you can reward him with more playing time. It's baffling to me. It doesn't make any sense.
That's the big 162, right? That's what they're saying. And
cool.
And when you miss the playoffs by 1 game, it's not 162. It's 1 game.
Well, it is 1 game. I agree with you. But here's the thing that I am not in any way saying Jake Fraley is in the same tier as Joey Votto. But fans of Cincinnati right now, this team, and we're bitching and moaning about Fraley, we're bitching and moaning about Friedel not hitting, Steer not hitting. Joey Votto never hit early in April or May. I mean, for crying out loud, if he was on this team, we'd be like,
no,
send
but
him down,
Votto had
send
an
him down.
MVP. So
Votto did, right? I understand that. That's why I said I'm not comparing those things. What I'm doing is comparing our fan bases, and I mean, we jump to such extremes in Cincinnati. When things are going great, we're winning the World Series, we're winning the Super Bowl. When things go south, it's only been 9 freaking games, right?
I get it.
Teams have slumps. I mean, the Big Red Machine got shut out for 4 straight games. I mean, and they went on to win 108 games. And if you look at their record at Memorial Day, it was not very good. But
the difference though is that the Reds haven't been good in years.
Yeah. Right.
This is nothing new. It'd be different if they had been, they made the NL championship last year and they started this way. I mean, that's different. This is a continuous trend for a long time that their hitting has been subpar. I mean, when's the last time as a team they hit, in the top half of the league? I couldn't tell you. 2012 maybe. So,
maybe.
And even that they were better pitching than they were hitting that year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, that's the difference. That's where it's, why would I think anything's going to change when it hasn't changed for years?
And I don't think anything's going to change either. But what I'm saying is, I think these these players will regress back to their mean over time. And if Fraley's mean is only $178, well, then we need to think about, why is he here? The sad thing is you got Will Benson, who's, raking. And this is the other part that, to my, my argument is, Will Benson is raking down in AAA. They're calling for him to come on up and take Fraley's spot. Well, we had that last year, right, with Nick Martini, the opening day hero, and then all of a sudden he goes cold. And then who was raking down in AAA? AKA Mike Ford, baby. We had to call him up right away because he's better than Nick Martini. Well, what happened to Mike Ford? He didn't even make it 2 weeks, and he's in Japan. I don't think we have anybody at AAA that is going to help this team in the long run right now. And that's a problem because, like you said, Carly, our outfield is horrible. Will Benson played a lot last year, and he was horrible. Is he going to come back? I don't know. I mean, you're facing AAA pitchers. You're not facing major league pitchers.
I would suspect he will. I mean, at some point, if he's continuing to hit well down there because, you got to try something. The Reds are great at that, trying something.
That you can check a box.
Sign another minor league, guy to a minor league contract, and with the option to spring training. I mean, they're the champs of that. So I would suspect he will. I would suspect that Marte will show up at some point. If he continues to hit. I mean, because I'm not optimistic the Reds are going to be in playoff contention. The only reason they're going to, the main reason that people are hanging on to that thought is that the NL Central is bad, real bad. I mean, it's the worst division. AS Central is pretty bad too, but it's bad. So that hanging on for that, and we have this hope that all these, and the pitching staff, I mean the starting staff especially. So if they can even hit 3 to 4 runs, get 3 to 4 runs a game, they're going to be winning quite a bit of games, I think. So, but I don't know. I don't put faith in these hitters that they can do that. Even with Austin Hayes and Stevenson, I mean, we're hoping Hayes hits. He didn't. I mean, it's another one of these where he had a terrible year last year. They're blaming it on injuries, but he hasn't hit this year. I mean, C.S. has never hit at the major league level. He's a young dude. Because he's been good in the minors. No, the Reds have a history of great 4A players. Until C.S. is a consistent not batting 170. Then, he's not a good hitter to me. And so it's on and on and on, with the same old tune. I'm playing the violin here, playing the tune the Reds always have every year.
But in today's baseball, 170 is like 250 when we play, Crowley's. The long ball, right?
I mean, the guy I watched quite a bit of the game. What was it, 2 nights ago when they were going for another 1-0 and loss, and the guy that pitched for the Brewers was 5-22 lifetime as a starter, and he threw a no hitter. I mean,
was that Cortez?
Tyler Alexander is his name.
Tyler
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Well, no, Cortez. Yeah. I mean, he was a Cy Young winner against the Reds the night before. He went 6 1/3 of 1 hit.
Right.
No, at least Cortez has been a good pitcher in the majors. This Tyler Alexander has been an awful pitcher in the majors.
No. After coming off of
6 innings.
3 straight pitches that he gave a home run up to the Yankees.
But Alexander, he's a reliever. They were like, give us 3 innings max. You can give us 3 innings, and then he's no hitting them, and he gave him 6 because he gave up no hits. So you might as well run him out there again. So,
yeah,
I'm not this year. I'm not. At least I'm not. I'm not blaming coaches. I'm not blaming Tito. I'm not blaming whatever. It's the players. They stink, and until they stop stinking, then it doesn't matter what our new coaching staff's going to. And with that, it's the front office. I mean, that's who I blame ultimately. Castellini, number one.
Yeah, I blame Castellini more.
He's number
Kroll,
one.
Obviously,
they're absolutely number one.
Because just think how bad this team would be if Luke Malley was our starting catcher right now. I mean, at least Trevino has given us
Malley's in the minors.
Yeah, quality at bats, quality, great defensive plays behind the plate, controlling the pitchers. You got the pitchers like throwing to them. That's a debate for later on when Ty Stevens comes back. Is the pitcher's ERA is going to stay like this, and are they going to be comfortable throwing to Ty, or would they prefer Trevino? It'd be interesting. We'll get to that when we have to cross that bridge. But up next for our Reds, we have the Giants again, and that'll probably wrap up the series with the Giants, and then the Pirates come to town, and we've got to make some hay. We should have beat the Giants opening day for sure, and probably another game in there as well. I think we could have swept them if we have to win both series. I think that's what we got to start doing. We got to start winning series. And then hopefully we'll get on a roll. Thoughts on the upcoming series?
I think the Pirate series is more important than the Giants because you have to beat NL Central teams. It's going to be a tight race. We've said this a couple times. 84, 85 wins might win the entire division. So you've got to win your divisional games. They're off to a bad start. They're 1-2 now against the Central. So hopefully they can win today, because if they don't win today, then the series streak of losing series that they lose game 1 will go to 33 or 34 straight series. That's just an insane stat. Dates all the way back to 2023. It's the last time that they won a series where they lost game 1. So that's brutal. I don't know how that even works, psychologically amongst the players, like why they can't win 2 straight after they lose the opener. But I definitely think the Pirate series is the one that we have to have. We have to win that series.
Well, and also the Pirates are a really bad team.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah, that too. Yeah, they got swept by the Marlins.
But they had our number last year as well.
Well, we were a really bad team. So
we were, but we don't. Yes, we were. All right. Let's move on to, speaking of bad teams, bad defenses, let's move on to the Bengals here. And, they were in the news a little bit this week with Katie Blackburn's comments on Trey Hendrickson wanting a new contract. And then Trey going on, he's on the circuit now, talking about how bad the Bengals communicate and things like that. And then also the stadium lease, which, the Bengals have to let the county know what their plans are by the end of June. Thoughts?
Yeah. Katie Blackburn says nothing of importance ever, and then she decides to open her mouth this week. That was strange to me. Like, that family never says anything important, anything interesting. And then this week she said two things that just pissed everybody off. So I mean that was a good job on her part, I guess.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of our boy Phil.
Yeah,
Where are you
it
going to
does.
go?
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and I'll pose the same question that I did to Phil right back to them. Like, no, where are you going to go? Because what city, if you're, I don't know, if you're Austin, Texas, do you want the Bengals poor asses coming to your town? I don't think so. I think you'd rather have an expansion team or wait for somebody else.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
like
the NFL, I mean, it's very limited. That's why head coaches openings, they're coveted. NFL teams are coveted. I mean, they are. I think any city would welcome an NFL team, even if it is the Bengals.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. I guess I'm just looking at it from being a Bengals fan, that if I knew about the Bengals and a team like that was trying to come to my city, I would say no. So take my chances some other time. But I mean, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I just don't. They're not getting any. They're not getting public money from anybody around here. I don't think. I just don't think that'll be the case, and I don't think they'll end up leaving. But I don't know. I don't really care if they leave either. I'm kind of done with them anyways, so I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just part of, it's a negotiation that they have to, and I think the city or the county or whatever, I guess it would be more so. I think part of the Bengals problem right now is that, you got people in city or in county leadership who look at that last lease and just adamantly just say, we're not doing that again.
Right.
Absolutely, we're not doing that. So unless they back off of that, the Bengals are going to have to decide what they want. Are they willing to rake the city and the county over the coals again, like they did the other lease, just because they could get away with it? Or are they going to work with the county a lot more and make it a much, stronger partnership? So you're never going to get meat on the side of the Bengals when it comes to any of this stuff, because
right.
I think they're criminals basically for what they did to the county and the city, and just because they could get away with it. The only thing, the number one telling thing for me, and I'll never forget this, was the guy who negotiated the lease for the county, then worked for the Bengals like 6 months later.
Right.
I mean, that guy should be in prison probably. So, Bob, whatever his name was, something like that.
Betting House.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was obvious, and it's ridiculous that no one called him out on it. So I think that's going to be a problem for the Bengals, is that the county leadership are going to say, screw you. We'll let you leave before you do this to us again. And the Brown family are just so ridiculous about everything when it comes to, using their money in certain ways. The county needs Joe Burrow to come out and say, because he's the only one that can make the Bengals do anything at this point when it comes to, trying to put a better product on the fields. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, interesting. Governor DeWine wanted to use the gambling tax and put it in a fund for sports teams and youth sports leagues. And that's where the money goes. So if the Bengals want a new stadium, they would use some of that money for the new stadium. It would not come directly from taxpayers. Well, our officials nixed that part because the Browns want a new stadium, right? They want $600 million from the state of Ohio. This is where DeWine was saying, let's not have to decide who gets what piece of the pie. Let's make this fund, and this is where this money goes. And then we can divvy it up out of that. We don't have to worry about the taxpayer dollars. If 600 goes to Cleveland, Cincinnati is going to be, hey, we need this, and then Columbus, the Blue Jackets are going to say, hey, we need some money. And there's just, you just can't sustain that from the taxpayers. So I think, I like DeWine's idea of putting, using the gambling tax, since, everybody pretty much gambles anymore, and all the sports leagues are in bed with the gambling industry. Let them fund the stadiums. You could have a casino in your stadium, for crying out loud. And, it doesn't really matter then. But you're not going to, like you said, harm the people, because I think people are getting wiser to these deals.
They definitely are.
Saying, for 8 games or 9 games out of the year, we'll bring in, and they do bring in a lot of money to the city. But I like the commission. I was reading a little bit about the commissioners where they want to have more say so in who uses the stadium. Right?
They should have all say so.
They should.
We own the stadium. The Bengals don't. They should tell the Bengals to jump off a cliff.
But
whoever we want to be in that stadium, the Bengals should shut the fuck up.
So,
I'm sorry, I don't even live in Hamilton County, so it doesn't even. But I'm still paying the sales tax.
This episode will be rated E.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I'm just saying it's ridiculous.
Right. I mean, over the last couple of years, they've allowed 1 or 2 concerts a year, but that stadium sits empty 90% of the time. It needs to be filled, and you could bring in so much more revenue if we allow that, if the Bengals would allow that to happen. But that's part of that lease agreements. They have final say, and that needs to be.
They should have next to no say. Right. I mean, during football season they can have say, but outside of that, there's they don't own it. They don't own it. So
if they want to have say, then build it, pay for it, build it.
Right.
Simple as that. Then they can have ultimate say. Jerry Jones build a stadium. He can do whatever he wants with that damn place.
Yep.
Including have a shitty football team in it. So
all right, let's move on. Let's get out of the week that was and go into our trivia segment. Last week I posted a picture of a starting lineup, and Sam guessed it correctly. It was the Reds opening day lineup, and he nailed that right off the bat. So, Sam, you have this week's question for Charlie and I.
Yep, we got a little NFL draft trivia here. It's a little 2-parter. So, what university has the most number 1 overall draft picks?
Throughout since the origin of the draft?
Since the origin of the draft, which started in 1936.
Most number 1 draft.
Yep, and I'll tell you, they have 6. They have 6 number 1 overall draft picks.
Notre Dame?
It's not Notre Dame. They are tied for second, though.
Michigan?
It's not Michigan. Michigan has 2.
Ohio State has...
Not Ohio State.
3 or 4. Right?
Ohio State has 3.
3. And 2 of them were drafted by the Bengals, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. Ohio State, Orlando Pace, Dan Wilkinson, and Tom Cousinu.
Oh, yeah, Tom.
Cousinu? I don't know how to say that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Tom, I think he was a Bengals. Was he a Bengals safety? Was he a safety?
That just has his name. Doesn't have his position.
I was thinking Archie, but I guess Archie wasn't the number 1 overall pick. That's a good question.
I mean, Alabama is your other obvious one.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's not that.
It's not Alabama. Yeah. They actually only have 2.
Yeah.
I will tell you. I'll give you a hint. I said already they have 6. One of them was a Bengal. Bengals did draft him number 1 overall.
Penn State?
Not Penn State, no.
And when does the Bengals have the number 1 pick? Besides Big Daddy, Penn, and Kajana.
Carson, USC?
Yep,
USC. There we go, Carson.
Yeah, USC. So part 2 is to name all 6 from USC. So you got 1.
You got Carson Palmer.
Yep. Number 1 picks from USC.
Munoz was not number 1 overall.
Munoz was not a number 1 now.
3, I think. Was Marcus Allen?
OJ.
Charles White.
OJ.
Yeah,
yep.
Charles White.
So that's 2. Charles White. No.
Okay.
Billy's sent him to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Who were all those running backs they had?
That's what I'm saying. Like Charles White.
Yeah.
Throw me the damn ball guy. What's his name?
Keyshawn. Yep, he was number
Keyshawn,
1.
yep.
Keyshawn.
Yep.
Man,
that's 3.
Todd Marinovich.
No, he was 1. He wasn't number 1. Robo quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You sure?
I don't know if any of those quarterbacks they had went number 1.
Palmer.
I meant like in that, Mark
Leinart
Sanchez and Leinart and those guys.
No. Reggie Bush was not overall
he wasn't
number
1.
1.
I'll give you the years. So 3 you were missing: 2024, 1977, and 1968.
Did they have like wasn't their running back like White, or did you already say him, Charles White?
I said Charles White.
Was there
yeah.
a Mike something? Was there a Mike Garrett or something? Or
That's a good guess. Yeah.
who was 2024? That's like a year ago.
Yeah, it was just last year.
Oh, the quarterback, the Bears,
Yeah.
Caleb
Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
Caleb
4.
Williams. 4.
Yeah.
So 68. So that was before
77. So
68 and 77.
When was OJ? Was he
OJ
69?
was 69. Yep. So the year before OJ.
it's got to be a running back.
No. Is
Let's
it
see.
is
Look
it
this guy up.
is it Pat Hayden?
It's not Pat Hayden.
Jim Plunkett. No, he went to Stanford.
Not Jim Plunkett.
Oh gosh.
I
That's
don't
good.
know.
All right. Well, we'll keep
No,
guessing here. And
offensive lineman, the guy in 68.
oh,
It's an offensive lineman.
was it Bruce Matthews or Matthews?
No.
Clay Matthews. They went to USC. 77.
Clay Matthews Jr. went to it. Did the other Matthews go there?
I think.
I think they all did.
I think they all did.
I know
yeah.
Clay Matthews Jr. did, and he was on.
No.
Yeah, and then the other guy is a running back as well.
77.
Yeah.
Wow.
He died super young. From heart failure.
That I don't know, because I was thinking it's because I thought Charles White was there 80, 79, because Marcus Allen was 80.
It would have been whoever was before them.
For them, yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, if you guys know out there in listening land, go ahead and send us your guesses at CincySportScn at gmail.com, or hit us up on Instagram. Look for this little reel. We'll ask you to leave it in the comments if you know the answer. All right, moving forward, we've got our topic of the week, and it's like, can you name this Cincinnati icon game? What we are going to do is each one of us has a category. I have people, Sam has places, and Charlie has things, which are all Cincinnati related, iconic type of thing. So, think of things that you associate with Cincinnati. And then we are going to give some clues, and each host then is going to try to guess who it is, and whoever answers the questions from the clues will get a point. And we have 5, for me, I have 5 people and 3 clues each. And so it's going to be the best of 5 out of that. Or we might go best of 3, because we are running a little long right now. So let's just go ahead. And who wants to start? You want me to start, or do you guys?
You can start.
All right, I will start. So the first person, he played 19 years all with the Reds. Any guesses?
Each get a guess after each clue.
Larkin is incorrect.
Larkin.
Bench.
19 years all with the Reds.
All right.
Oh, am I not supposed to guess this randomly?
No. All right. Clue number 2. I was a 9-time All-Star and a 5-time Gold Glove winner.
What was the first clue? That he played 19 years for the Reds, or that I played 19
for the Reds?
Years? Okay.
19 years all with the Reds.
The Reds.
Yep. 9-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner. Clue number 3, the last clue.
I would have still said my original answer. I thought.
I am 3rd all-time for career hits with the Reds.
Votto?
Oh,
Concepcion?
Davey Concepcion.
Really?
There you go. Wow. Way to go, Crawley. Crawley's got 1.
3rd all-time in hits. Wow.
3rd all-time in hits, yeah. All right, number 2. I was drafted in the 12th round out of Utah by the Bengals.
Yeah.
Sounds like an offensive lineman to me.
Yep. From like the 70s.
I ranked 12th all-time for career receiving yards.
Okay.
4,600.
Trumpy.
Yes, you are
All
right.
right. All right.
Bob Drumpy. The third one was after my career, I became a local sports talk show host. So, yeah, way to go. All right, so number 3. Let's see. I played football for the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. All right.
Jeff Blake.
My career was cut tragically short.
Chris Henry.
Chris Henry, there you go.
All right.
2 for 3. All right. You want to keep going with this, or do you guys want to go?
We might as well do the whole.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
I played 8 years for the Reds and was a 3-time All-Star.
Brandon Phillips.
No. Who'd you say, Crawley? Okay. Terry Francona was my manager for 1 year.
Sean Casey.
Yes, there you go. So it's 2-2. All right, this comes down to the last one here. I am the 3rd all-time winningest football coach at the University of Cincinnati with 34 wins.
Jones.
No.
No.
My win-loss percentage is 85%.
Fickle? No, he wouldn't be 85% anyway.
His first year was pretty bad.
Yeah, he wouldn't be 85%. As soon as I said it, I'm like, nah, I can't
I
be
guess
Fickle.
Chip Kelly. It would have to be, or not Chip Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly, yes. I think Crawley gets it by technicality.
When he said Chip Kelly, I thought, oh, yeah, Brian Kelly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, my last one was I'm hated for bolting UC right before their bowl game.
I thought my last clue would have been I developed a new Southern drawl just when I needed to.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Crawley takes that on a technicality.
Right, I don't know.
So
that's pretty split.
Yeah. All right, 2.5, 2.5. All right, Sam, I think you are next.
All right, so we're doing places.
Yep.
All right, so first one is in OTR.
TQL?
TQL, nope. Any guesses?
Can I guess
Ryan
again,
Geist.
or does he guess now?
Right.
No, let's do one guess per,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
round 3 after 3 clues, then you guys can fire them off. All right, no guesses, Dad?
I said Ryan Geist.
Yeah, Ryan Geist, nope.
Okay.
Clue number 3, have over 50 full-time merchants and vendors. Sorry, clue
Finley
number 2.
Market.
Oh,
Finley
yeah,
Market.
Right.
Finley Market. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you forgot number 2.
There you go.
All right, Finley Market. Woohoo, we got one.
All righty. And number 2, I'm technically not inside Cincinnati city limits.
CVG.
Not CVG. Nope.
Good guess. I will say, pass.
Nothing. Clue number 2. And this one's a little niche, but semi-trucks hate me.
Brent Spence Bridge.
Close, but not quite.
The Lytle Tunnel.
No.
Oh, I know. I can't get. I know what
right.
it is. It's Cutting the Hill.
Cutting the Hill.
Yeah, Cutting the Hill.
You got it.
Cutting the Hill. Yep. Number 2.
Yeah.
So what?
Well,
Is that
I hate the
1-1 each?
Yep.
1-1 each. Where do I have to go here? Accidentally closed out of my notes app. Give me 1 second here. Alrighty. I was initially known for one thing, but now I'm more well known for another. This place is
Keep going.
west of downtown.
Museum Center.
There you go. Yep, Museum Center.
Hall of Justice.
There you go.
2-1.
All right. Let's see here. Save this. Jesus, my phone is not working today.
That's why.
Yeah, I should have wrote them down. Yeah, just putting them on my phone. But
Well, technology is great when it works, but
all right, this next one here. I am downtown along the river.
Mail Park.
Nothing, Crawley.
Banks.
All right. Not the Banks. Nope. Clue number 2 is I opened in 2003.
Great American Ballpark.
Great American Ballpark. There we go. Is that 3?
That's 3.
Takes the game.
Takes the
All
game.
right.
What was your last one? I mean, you don't have to just tell us what it was.
Last one was Fountain Square.
Good one. All right, Crawley, your turn. For things.
These are things, which is just like a weird kind of category, by the way. So, because when I was thinking of originally, I was thinking of like places like Fountain Square,
No.
or Union Terminal. Those are things,
Right? Yes, those are things, but they're also places.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. I am German.
Oktoberfest.
Geta.
Get a bing.
Get a
Woo!
Nice. Nice.
I had Oktoberfest on my list, but I didn't go to that one. Yeah, get a.
Get a.
Okay. I am known as a symbol of the city.
Flying pig.
That's it. The flying pig.
Flying pig. I was going to say the flying pig, but I was like,
Yep.
No, good job.
Okay. I happen once a year.
Opening day.
That's it.
Woo.
All right.
2-1.
Give me a second here. I got to get myself together. That was my main one. So I got a bunch, but I got to figure out my clues I want to use here. I'm making off as I go here. I got a list of good stuff. Okay. I am, we'll say, unofficially known as the sporting event of the year for the city.
Crosstown shootout.
That's it.
Yep. All right. Nice.
Crosstown shootout.
So that's 3, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah.
That's 3. Yeah.
That's 3.
Yeah.
I was waiting to say Skyline Chili or
I have
Graber's Ice Cream.
I have 3-way on there. Yeah, I was just trying to think of how what clues I would give that weren't like giveaway. Spaghetti.
Chili.
Cheese.
This is not what you think of when you hear the term.
There you go. I already made this podcast explicit, so I don't want to add to it. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys played along out there and you enjoyed it. Send us a couple of your person, places, or things. And
I had 11 things on my list.
Holy cow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I had, real quick, I had I had a 3-way. I had the Roebling Suspension Bridge. I had the fountain in Fountain Square.
Okay.
I think it's called like the Genius of Water, maybe. I had Fiona, the hippo. I had Oktoberfest, and then I had Where Did You Go to High School?
It is a thing. West side or east side, right? And there it is. All right. So we appreciate you rolling with us. And don't forget to hit that like. If you like our videos, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Send your trivia answers to Cincy Sports or CSS Podcast at gmail.com or hit us up on all our socials at CincySportScn for a chance to win and get a shout out on next week's show. Also, mark your calendars because next week we're tackling a fun one, the most underrated Cincinnati athlete of all time. We don't know if it's going to be who we thought was most underrated locally or nationally, but you have to tune in and find out. So catch us on YouTube and all your favorite podcast platforms. Until then, let's keep repping the Cincinnati 513. Everybody, take care.
See you later.